Hey everybody, it's Elijah here. Sorry it's been a while, but back with another video. Um, and it's May 2026, going on summer, so really happy about that. A lot has been going on with me, not in a bad way, in a good way. Work has been keeping me busy, life in general. I just had surgery, which I'll explain in a moment. But things are going well. Not off the benzo yet, of course not. But making progress. So I'll start with the most recent stuff. For quite a few years, I've always had a breathing issue. And come to find out, lo and behold, I had a pretty bad deviated septum in my nose. So after close to 2 years of research and, not sure about to get surgery because of my nervous system and medications, I finally couldn't really handle the whole blockage on one side anymore. So I went in to have a septoplasty done where they fixed my deviated septum. So I might look a little different. My whole nose is swollen. It's really swollen. That's all going to go away. But that's what happens when you get, any surgery done within your nose, especially for two procedures, deviated septum and a rhinoplasty. Those will really swell you up. So I was freaking out a little bit, but after many people and things I've read, no, this all goes back to normal, so I'm not worried about it. But I'll tell you something interesting. So going through the whole benzo taper thing and all the medications, we're really sensitive to a lot of stuff, and we're not sure what we can take or what we can't take. It's always questionable. And I was prepping for surgery, like months before mentally, right? Because this surgery involved general anesthesia, which means completely knocking me out for 3 hours. So I started my research, which I've known about a lot of things. But I made lists on what I can have and what I cannot have. Went on message boards, groups, chat GPT, you name it, about what I can and cannot have. So I created these lists for the anesthesiologist and for the doctors and nurses about what I can't have. And so I relayed that all to them. And you're always anxious about going into a surgery if you've had one or, are about to have one. But I'll give you my experience here. So I came up with the lists, pretty long list of things I cannot have, right? Including fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Those are the big ones. And the only antibiotic I told them I could have is penicillin. Which is fine. So went in for my surgery, my pre-op, and then talked to the doctor and the anesthesiologist. Gave them the list. They looked at it all because they had everything from medicines that knock you out, antibiotics, pain meds, pretty much anything I could think of and find that I could not have, I put it on the list. And then I had another page of what I could have. So I went into the hospital, prepped for surgery, and I'll tell you, my anxiety was so bad. Not flipping out, just really, really nervous. And the day before, I quit taking my Valium, which was fine. I quit taking it because I knew I was going to have general anesthesia and I didn't want to affect anything. So I quit taking my Valium, which I'll let you know. I had no problems doing that. I stopped my Zoloft. No problems with that either. The medicine I did take the night before surgery was my Ambien. And I know everybody's like, it's works like a benzo. I know. Has the same effect, works on GABA. I know this. But the doctor said, go on and take the Ambien, because first of all, you want a good night's sleep before surgery, and the half-life of the Ambien was, it's very short. So next day I went to the hospital, changed my gown, met with the doctor, was really anxious. I was laying in the bed, about to go for surgery, and then I got delayed 3 hours. I'm like, oh, come on. Delayed 3 hours. So there I was, anxious in bed, getting ready for my procedure. And then about 3 hours later, a nurse comes in and says, Elijah, we're ready for you. So I said, okay, can you give me a minute? I want to go to the bathroom. And I went into the bathroom, nervous, just full of anxiety. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm canceling. I don't want to do nothing. But I was like, in my mind, I was like, no, you got to do this. So I sat on the hospital bed, and they rolled me to the operating room. They gave me no medications for anxiety, nothing. They were following my list and my requests. And then I get to the operating room, and I look over at the anesthesiologist, full of anxiety, and I was like, can you give me something for my anxiety? I'm really bad. As I'm looking at her, I see her pumping this stuff, and it looks like milk. And it was propofol. And all of a sudden, you get this feeling like, okay, I'm going out. Within 5 seconds, I was out. And the next thing I remember, they were waking me up, and then I was in an elevator, and I was laying there giving fist bumps to everybody like, all right, good job, yeah. But apparently, come to find out, I had post-operative agitation. It took 5 people to hold me down when coming out of it, coming out of anesthesia, and I don't remember any of this. And apparently, what's fascinating, if you go into surgery really anxious when they knock you out, you're going to come out of your anesthesia really anxious and agitated. But if you go into surgery feeling good and ready to go, then you'll wake up relaxed. So after surgery, they wheel me back to my room, and I'm coming back to it already. I was slowly alert when they took me back to my recovery room. They had me on an antibiotic, which was penicillin. It was a drip, and no pain meds. No, let me clarify that. The only pain med they were giving me was, it wasn't Tylenol, but it was, I forget the name of it, but it's pretty much the same as Tylenol, or acetaminophen. I can never pronounce it. But yeah, so the hospital, they gave me propofol for my surgery. They gave me penicillin for my antibiotic, and they gave me pretty much Tylenol for my pain, which was funny. I had 0 pain. 1 out of 10, the pain was a 0. And the only problem I had for 5 days was this heavy, most uncomfortable congestion I've ever had in my life. And I look back, and I was like, the anxiety-wise, I had all this anxiety leading up to surgery because of the unknown, right? Because of how the nervous system works, how your body works, and everything. And nothing went wrong. No issues with propofol. No issues with penicillin. And I only had the penicillin for 1 day. Because I stayed that night in the hospital just so they can monitor you, and that's actually normal. Then the next early afternoon, I went home the next day. But after my surgery got done at oh gosh, like 8:45 p.m. And I asked the doctor, I said, "Doctor, can I take my nighttime medication?" And he said, "Yeah." So I took an Ambien to knock out, and it's absolutely fine, no problems at all. The next day, I got back on my regimen of my Valium, my Zoloft, and I had no problems whatsoever. But I'll tell you this, I stopped my taper before my surgery. I was at around 4.6 milligrams, but from all the anxiety from the surgery and everything, I just went back up to 5 milligrams because I was like, I'm not going to be dealing with these fluctuations. So I went back up to 5 milligrams a few weeks before my surgery, and no issues. Stable the whole time, felt good except for the anxiety of surgery. And 5 days later, they took out the stents from my nose and the whole cast off, and now here I am 17 days later after surgery, working my way back down to my normal dose that I was on, like 4.6 or something. Not long to go, but that's what I had to do, right? So before surgery, I need to get to that round number of my benzo. It wasn't time for me to keep tapering, no. I need to level out because my anxiety from the surgery. And the surgery was so uneventful. Like there was nothing, there was nothing bad at all about it. It was such a breeze. So anybody that's gonna have surgery, I can tell you what worked for me. Propofol only, penicillin, and Tylenol. Now you might need different stuff, but that's something that you need to research and ask people about, and talk to your doctor and anesthesiologist. But other than that, everything's actually going really well. I have my days. Just like all of you, right? There's ups and downs to this process, and it's so annoying beyond belief. But as I always say, it is what it is, right? Like, what are we gonna do about it? Nothing. So you just gotta go with it. There's no way out. Just go with that flow. And people kept getting on me, Elijah, make some more videos. And I was like, I will. And you gotta remember, I'm going through this with all of you. Some of you probably have it really hard, and I really feel for you. Some of you may have it easy, or some of you may be done with your taper, or some of you maybe have never started a taper and don't know where to go. But I can tell you, you know what? We're all going to be okay. It feels like we're hurting ourselves going through this, but technically, well, let me rephrase this. If you do it the correct way, your taper, and you go very slow, you're gentle on yourself, and don't rush, then you know what? It's going to go a lot better for a lot of people. Some people are unfortunate and have a really hard time. I know someone that just went through a horrible, 3-year taper. 3-year taper. Horrible. And guess what's funny? They're fine now. Their taper's done. They're back to normal. They feel wonderful. And this person's here in the United States. And that just shows you, don't give up. I kept telling them, don't give up. And, I'll tell you, I'm a Christian, all right? I'm a believer. Some people aren't. And that's cool. I'm just telling you what I am. And so was he. And I kept having to let him know and reassure him, you know what? The rest of your life is not going to be like this. This is a temporary hassle, a temporary speed bump that just lasts a long time for some people. But if I know this is going to last all these years, in my case, it's uncomfortable, but it's not life-stopping, right? It's uncomfortable. So in my mind, I have to be like, okay, This is what I feel. I'm going to feel like this for quite a while. So I have to adapt to it. I can't stop my life. I got to keep moving on, right? So after a while, it's like you don't get used to it. You just learn to live with it. And a lot of times when I get distracted, I don't even know I'm tapering or having some feelings at the time. And positivity goes a long way. Sometimes that's hard to say or do, but positivity is the only way that's going to get me through this and other people through this. Because like, what's being negative 24/7 going to do? It's not going to do any good. And I want to try to help other people just by making videos, right? Just to stay positive as much as you can. It's fine to be upset. It's fine to have those horrible moments, right? But if you have a time where you're not feeling that, just be positive. And if you've come down a lot in your dosage, then that's something to be happy about. Looking back with my journey where I started at a high level dose and now I'm low, just that is motivation. That makes me so happy that I've achieved all that. And yeah, you might be struggling right now, but it's not going to be forever. I promise you it's not. So put a smile on that face. But no, I keep rambling again. There's just not a lot new going on. I've just been doing my taper journey, then had this major surgery. Well, I don't know if it's major, but they say it is because it's your breathing, right? But yeah, this is all healing still. But everything's going okay. It's still the same as it was. Still trekking through. In a quick rundown, I'm on my Valium. I'm on Zoloft. I'm on Ambien. Sometimes I take Trazodone. And I know that's like all these things to work with, right? But I haven't touched any other medication. The only one I've been tapering is the Valium. Once that's done, then I'll proceed with the others. And like I've mentioned in other videos, I don't want to start tapering all these different other meds because if I start having symptoms, I don't know what's going to be from what, right? Your body doesn't like drastic and huge changes. So keep it steady, keep it stable, and be gentle on yourself because only you know your own body. And, we have to support each other. I talk to people in New Zealand, Australia, United Kingdom, Europe, Middle East, Asia, United States, everywhere, right? And if you think about it, we're a big family. We don't know each other. We don't. But going through this experience and this journey, we're family and we know each other. And just remember that you're not alone. A lot of people are going through this journey with you, okay? So try to put a smile on that face. Try to be positive as much as you can. Even if you have to fake it, do it. Do it. Get those good, hormones going through your body and the good juices, right? But I'll keep posting videos regularly. It's been a long time, I know, but I didn't have much to say, but I know a lot of people rely on these videos. So yeah, just take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon. Keep happy, okay? Keep happy. Keep positive. Keep motivating. Keep pushing through because you're going to get through this. And as we say, you gotta learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable, but you gotta get comfortable to that. You just gotta go with it. Gonna have waves, windows. It's the same pattern. So once you learn it's the same pattern, whoop-de-doo, right? a wave comes, it's going to be brutal sometimes, not fun, but it's going to pass. It's your body adjusting the homeostasis, right? It's trying to balance itself out. So just, yeah, I mean, leave a comment. I'm not good with comments. I'm sorry. I jump on there once in a while because I don't have my mind going 24/7 about this whole taper and benzos, because it's not healthy to constantly think about that nonstop. But leave a comment if you'd like, and I'll work on getting back to you, or just putting a heart on your comment. If you see a heart on your comment, believe me, I've read it. All right. But I'll see you all soon. So just keep cool, keep happy, keep motivated, keep busy, and put a smile on that face. All right. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you soon. Be cool. Peace.